Alright, y'all. This is a video that I want to tell y'all about, man. One of the best things you can do for your back: pull ups. Pull ups. Listen, a pull up, a weighted pull up, and a low row movement. And then an upper back movement, which I'll insert when y'all see these clips. Another thing that you need to do is you need to worry about consistency. How many times are you hitting your back? How many times a week are you hitting your back? How much volume are you hitting your back in that week, in that month, and in that year? Calculate it. Write down everything. Write down your goals with how you want your physique to look. You want your physique to be a certain way, write it down. You want bigger arms? Focus on your arms. Like I always say, I have my method of training. I do nucleus overload. What is that? So if I want a bigger body part, like I want a bigger upper chest. So right now I'm doing incline every day, at least 6 sets. And I'm going as heavy as I can go, and I'm going to failure. 5 to 6 sets. It might be 10 reps, it might be 12 reps, it might be 8 reps. But I'm going as heavy as I can go, whether that's on the incline hammer strength, incline barbell, incline dumbbell, or incline Smith machine. And I'm doing them high incline, unless it's a hammer strength. Does that make sense? Same thing for back. If you want a bigger back, what I highly recommend is do 100 to 200 pull-ups a day. And if you really want to challenge, do 50 regular pull-ups and then do 100 weighted pull-ups. Whether it's with a 25-pound dumbbell, 25-pound plate, or 45-pound plate. You can do them sets of 10 or sets of 5. Does that make sense? This is my method of training. I call this nucleus overload. I got this from a guy that was talking about the prison style training. But if you want a bigger back, you need to figure out the exercises that works for you, that you need to do that works for you. Like, there is no such thing as, well, there is. I know I was watching Jeff Nippert video, and he said science study shows that a lat pull down has more lat activation than a pull up. I mean, I highly disagree whether what the fuck science says, but I highly disagree because when I do a pull up, I feel that all in my lats. Even when I do a lat pull down too, but when I do my pull ups, you feel it. You really feel it. So this is the message I want to tell you guys who's watching this. Make sure you feel the muscle working. Because like one machine I hated the stand up row. When you stand up and you roll back and forth, I never felt that. I never felt a bent over dumbbell row. I never felt those as well. But when I did it on a bench, when I did like a chest supported dumbbell row, and I kept my chest straight, and I was just feeling the muscle, feeling the contraction. Because you gotta understand, like, I'm not a weightlifter. I don't know if you guys are weightlifter. You know what I'm saying? It's different strokes, different folks. Whether you're a power lifter, a weightlifter, but in actuality, we're all bodybuilders. We're building our bodies however we want to build them. If you want small legs, bro, have your small legs. I'm not gonna judge you. You know what I'm saying? If you want big arms and no chest, I'm not gonna judge you. That's what you do. Does that make sense? Because me personally, I want a well-rounded, balanced physique. I want to look like a Greek guy. So I'm carving. The weights are our paintbrushes. So we're using the weights to get in the best shape of our life. The weights in the diet. The weights in the diet. Does that make sense? So you got to do what works for you. Like, you know, another thing that works for me, another movement that I feel like you guys should do for your back is a bent over row. 3 exercises you should do. You should do a bent over T-bar row, weighted pull-ups or pull-ups, and the last one you should do is a any type of upper back rowing movement when you're doing it like this instead of pulling towards your belly button. When you pull towards your belly button, it's more of the lower lats. But sometimes you really can't even isolate your lower lats. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are born with different structures. You know, long torsos, high lat insertions, low lat insertions. You know, certain people are born with different structures. So, like I said, like, you have to find what works for you. You have to find what works for you. You know, like, what works for me. This is how my back workouts go. I start off with a pull up, weighted pull up. I do one of my favorite lat pull down machines. Different certain grips. If I'm doing reverse grip, it's more lower lats. It's more if my serratus if I'm doing a reverse grip. Does that make sense? If I'm going behind the neck, sometimes I like going behind the neck as well, because I feel like I'm getting set up for a back double bicep. Like I said, I'm a bodybuilder, so when I'm going behind the neck, I feel like I'm getting set up for a back double bicep, and I feel it more in my traps. Right. After I do those, I go right back to a rowing movement, whether it's a low row or a high row. Low rows, for like I said, it's all for thickness. Any type of row movement is for thickness, but I feel like a lat pull down and a pull up is for thickness as well. Because like I said, we all have different structures. So you have to find what works for you for certain workouts that you do. Does that make sense? Right. So lat pull downs, pull ups, weighted pull ups. My next one is the bent over T-bar row. I do a close grip for my middle back and my lats and my lower lats. I do 4 sets close grip. Then I do 4 sets with the wide grip for the upper back, detail in the upper back. Same weight, same amount of reps, same amount of sets. So all together in the T-bar row, it's about 10 sets, maybe 8. Because 4 for 4 or 5 for 5. Right? After my T-bar row, I go to a stretching movement. Whether it's a lying dumbbell pullover or cable dumbbell pullover. Cable rope pullover for the lats. For a stretching movement. Because it's a nice stretching movement. Right? Then the last thing I might do is some hyper extensions for my lower erectors. I don't deadlift. I don't do rack pulls. Now, I take that back. I do rack pulls because I feel like rack pulls are better than deadlifts. I feel like if you're doing powerlifting, you can either both. Like I don't deadlift, right? If I'm working out with a group of friends, then I'll deadlift. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm working out by myself, hyperextensions, rack pulls. Rack pulls really help the traps as well. And sometimes when I train my back, I don't train my traps with my back. Sometimes I train my shoulders and arms with my traps, if that makes sense. So those are movements. Hyperextension. I use the weights with the hyperextension, and then after that, what do I do after that? After that, I do some upper back work. Right, I do an upper back rowing work. I do about 5-6 sets. Listen, guys, I'm a high volume guy. I love Chris Jones' training method. I train high volume as well. I love to train high volume. This is just how I train. I train very high volume. Like the minimum. Fuck that low volume shit. Like I don't do that low volume shit. Like I train legs on Friday, my legs still sore, and I gotta train legs tomorrow. And I'm gonna give you guys a leg workout video as well. Like I feel like high volume is the only way to go. That's how I feel. None of that low volume shit. None of that 5 sets of 5. No, fuck that. Do 10 sets of 5. Or if you want to do pull-ups, do 10 sets of 10. What do I mean by 10 sets of 10? Do 10 pull-ups for 10 sets, 30-second rest minimum. Guarantee you will fatigue. Guarantee you will fatigue. You will be like, oh my God. Guarantee. So those are the bases around my back workout. Now, guys, you gotta stay fucking consistent, man. You can't do this. I want to get fit for my birthday bullshit. I want to look good for my wife. Like, fuck that. You gotta want to look good every day of your life, G. And that should motivate you every day. Fuck this. I need motivation. Fuck that shit. You should be motivated every day. You should be disciplined on your diet and on all that shit every fucking day. You should be on it every day. You should want to do better every day. You should want to improve every day on your physique and on your goals. So you gotta leave them excuses at the door, man. For real. Leave the excuses at the door. We here to improve. We here to get better. I'm here to make you better. I'm an online coach and a personal trainer. This is what I do. So this is my living. I help change people's lives. I help get people in the best shape of their life. But if you want to get in the best shape of your life, it starts with you. You that's watching this video. You gotta really want to get in the best shape of your fucking life. Real talk, man. Whether it is you want to attract better women or attract women, or you know what I'm saying, you want to, whatever you want to do, it should be about you first. All right, y'all. That's it for the video, man. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And it's your boy Steph, man. Y'all already know I'm cold. You cold too, G. I'm gone.